The Preferences tab has quite a few preferences that allow you to customize not only your webmail experience, but also your user experience overall, as well as how your mail is processed. Once clicking on the Preferences tab over here underneath Preferences, you will see all the different sections in the Preferences tab. The General section allows you to change your password, your theme, language, compose directions, whether they're left to right or right to left, depending on which language you're using, what type of font that you have, your default time zone, just very standard settings. You'll see here under searches, do you want to include spam folder in searches or trash folder in searches or shared items in searches? It's all very, very self-explanatory. And below underneath here, this will show you, this right here is scrolling, is how many items do you want to scroll per page. Down here is your font size. Under here we have display names in place of email addresses, and bubbles show email addresses in bubbles. Takes effect the next time you compose a message, which means that in bubbles, when you hover over it, a bubble will show the email address. As you look through these, you'll notice that as you go through the different sections, they're labeled quite appropriately. You'll click on accounts, and this will show you that you have your primary account is your protected mail account, and you can this protected mail account, you can add external accounts by simply clicking on Add External Account and then adding in the information here, which is the email server, whether it's POP or IMAP. And you can add an external account to your system. It's very simple to do. You would add in the email address, the account name, specify whether it was POP or IMAP. Then you enter in your username, which a lot of times the username on the account will be the full email address, the email server, your password, and then you can also change the port if you want to a different port, but most of the time you'll want to leave the port to 110. And you can specify whether you want to use SSL when connecting, and you almost assuredly do when you're using protected mail, because you will most certainly be denied a connection through protected mail if you do not use SSL. Download messages, you can specify if you want them to go to your inbox or go to an external account. You can delete messages on the server after downloading them, and then under here you can also put settings for sent messages, which is going to be from, and you can click a different reply to if you want to, and put a different reply to email in there from the one you're sending from, as well as add a signature if you want to. Underneath mail, these are going to be the different options that are going to be available for displaying messages, for receiving messages, for composing messages, for spam mail options, and for accessing mail from other mail clients, which we mentioned over here in the account section up there. Once again, these options are pretty self-explanatory, and if you've used any webmail interface before, you're going to be quite familiar with the options in here. They're pretty direct and to the point. Most people are going to want to check for new mail. 5 minutes is a good selection, but you can change that all the way up to 15 minutes. And all the way down to manually if you don't want it to do so at all. Display mail is HTML when possible. If you don't want it to be displayed as HTML and you don't want to see pictures and stuff like that, you can click on as text. Message preview, it'll display snippets of messages in the email list. Once again, you can see that when you're in the email list, if you don't want little snippets to show up underneath the titles, you would go ahead and uncheck that. As I said, they're pretty self-explanatory as far as the mail settings go. Filters allow you to specify filters, active filters. You can add any number of different types of filters. When you click on new filter, you'll get a filter name, and then you'll get this interface that will allow you to, if the subject line from to, you can specify a section of the email, and then you can say whether it contains, matches exactly, give it a condition, and then give it the string you're looking for, and engage a filter there, which will automatically do something, put that mail into a specific folder if you would like to, or delete that mail, putting it into the spam folder, or block that user altogether. Over here you have signatures, and this is where you'll be able to enter in your signatures and edit them right here. Once you have this selected, you can come over here and edit your signature, and then once you're done, that will automatically automatically be saved into the system here. And then you can go ahead and use these signatures throughout the protected mail system. Out of office, this allows you to send an auto reply message if you're going to be out of the office for a while, as well as specifying the times that you will be out of the office. Trusted addresses, these are addresses that you've added, trusted addresses and domains. Most of the time, external content, such as pictures and stuff, will not automatically be downloaded when you look at an HTML email. If the people are added, their domain is added to this trusted addresses list, and the content that you're trying to download from is from their domain, then it will download from that directly and will not put up a security warning. Here are options for the address book, options for the calendar. And as you can see, as you scroll down, there are some more extensive options for the calendar. Once again, very, very self-explanatory options, so I'm not going to go over each one of those here. Sharing, this allows you to share folders, and you can either share folders, you can look at the shared folders that are shared with you through a distribution list, but this account isn't connected to any distribution lists, and Protected Mail doesn't have a distribution list function in it, so that wouldn't work anyway. But you can click here and say, show folders shared with me by the following user. And if you know that Protected Mail username, the individual would have to give you their Protected Mail username, then you can share folders directly between Protected Mail users. They cannot be shared with anybody else. It can only be between Protected Mail users, and you cannot just go look for shared folders. The individual must give you their Protected Mail username so that Protected Mail users can share folders between them in a secure manner. Notifications will specify exactly how notifications are specified by the system, exactly where to send the notifications, phone number if they're to be notified by SMS. Import and export options for importing and exporting your emails and contacts. This is a list of keyboard shortcuts that are available for the system, and these are a list of Zimlets that are currently available in the system, such as WebEx, and you'll notice these are going to be listed right down here. I'm not going to save those changes, by the way. You'll see these are some of our Zimlets: OpenPeepGP, WebEx, and Yahoo emoticons, and those are the options for those right in there. They just want to, if you don't, for some reason, if you don't use these at all and you don't want them to load, you can come over here to Zimlets and uncheck them, and it will make them inactive if you want to. Well, that is an overview of the Protected Mail Preferences panel. Thank you.